I'm Jacob. I'm Ethnic Yuri, and we're going for a drive. '24 Nissan NISMO Z
with launch control on a drag strip. Let's see if I can get it to work. Hell yeah.
Horsepower and torque,
Whoa, Jack! 420 horsepower, 384 pound-feet of torque from a 3-liter turbo V6!
Yeah!
Dude, that was pretty good.
Yeah, let's go drive in the California Toge, sir.
Heck yeah, Jack. So, Ethnic Yuri, welcome to the TheStraightPipes.
Oh man, this is just incredible. It's no Plymouth Prowler, but as a Z owner, I will tell you that I am thoroughly impressed by what they did with this car. I mean, I guess the first question I have for you, Jacob, is yes, this is automatic only. The automatic has been improved mechanically. It has more clutches, it shifts 20% or 27% faster in upshifts, it's 50% faster in downshifts. How does this feel, and does the fact that it's automatic only ruin the car for you?
Okay, so I expected it to completely ruin the experience, and in a straight line, it honestly does kind of ruin the experience when leaving it in manual, but we're out here on these mountain roads, and driving it at half or part throttle and upshifting, I have not missed a shift, and it's been shifting really, really nice. I feel like it's totally fine, although I would love a manual transmission. Whatever excuse that they said that they don't have a manual for, I feel like they should just add one, because the enthusiasts are going to be upset, because they kept telling us that the enthusiasts want lap times, Jack, lap times. Sorry, Ethnic Yuri.
Oh, perfect. It's hard, right? I think people forget that Nissan has no development budget. And when you talk to some of the people on the side, I know at least the US team, and the US here only does product planning,
yes,
wanted a manual, and they couldn't make it work with their Japanese colleagues. I've heard everything from the quality, durability, and reliability cycle. The manual would not survive it due to the extra torque in this engine and extra power, and that's why it was potentially more cost effective and easier to hit their engineering targets by modifying their 9-speed auto.
And although I've kind of heard word that if there's enough demand, they might actually make it work, so
I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yeah, but leave a comment if you want to see a manual NISMO Z, or Z NISMO as they keep saying.
How does this 9-speed auto compare to my beloved B58 and ZF 8-speed?
It's not as good. Just straight up, it's not as good.
Well, nothing's as good as the B58.
Absolutely not. Just whisper it in my ear, Jack. Ethnic Theory, sorry. By the way, if you guys aren't familiar, you need to subscribe to Savage Geese, because that's where Jack is from.
And Jacob is kind enough to fill in for Mark for me on our video as well, which is going to be far more boring than this, sadly, for all of you folks.
And I actually need to thank Jack for inviting me out here, because for some reason Nissan didn't invite us out here formally. So a big thank you to Jack for sponsoring this video.
They were worried about all of your T levels. How's the engine?
The engine it pulls pretty hard. Like, do I notice the extra 20 horsepower? Not necessarily, but I feel like it is an improvement from the base engine, and I have not driven a regular version with the automatic, and if this is much improved, I think that one must be terrible, because this is where I expect the baseline for the automatic for the Z, right? You've driven the base Z.
The base auto is really bad.
Yeah, see, and this isn't. Like, this is actually enjoyable, especially out here. Like, it's popping off those shifts pretty quickly. It's just when you get into a straight line and you go full throttle, like here, there's a little bit of a delay there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I feel like for the average Z buyer, someone who's actually going to be in this car, most of the time you're not going to be taking this to the track. You're going to be in a mountain road.
Yeah.
You'll probably be pretty happy with the drivetrain. I think this engine, from a noise perspective, at least to my ear, none of the noise is fake.
Yeah.
It's all coming through the valved exhaust, and the exhaust is identical to the automatic Z. The engine, the VR30, I believe is the...
I have to interrupt you for a second. Let's take a listen to the outside.
The engine mechanically is essentially identical to the regular Z. However, the ignition control system is unique to this, and it makes its power through extra boost. It also has a bigger engine oil cooler. The idea is this car can run a 30-minute track session. We'll find out later if it can or not, but for 65,000 US dollars.
You gotta save the price for the end of the video,
dollars.
Jack.
All right, my bad.
That's okay. But it's the same turbocharger. Like, they didn't spend much developing the engine or adding the extra horsepower, right? So they were limited by their development budget, as you keep saying, which makes sense.
How was the suspension?
The suspension's actually really good out here. We did notice getting to these canyon roads that on uneven surfaces, a little bit bumpy, but not out of the realm of not dailyable.
Yeah, I think what I always liked about the Z is all the inputs, because it's double wishbone, because it is an older car underneath. You have some of that old car feel and the naturalness to the way it drives. I think the suspension tuning, it doesn't have all this weird like secondary body emotions that the other Z has. Like when you drift that other car, after it hooks up, you can almost feel it bobble. The whole car always is upset. This doesn't have it.
Exactly, I totally agree. Like, this actually handles really well out here. The steering also feels really nice out here. The only thing that's missing is a set of Continental Extreme Contact Sport 02 tires, because that's the recommended tire, Jack.
Oh, and let's not forget about our other sponsor, TuxMats.
Yes, absolutely.
See, I was a loser in life before I put TuxMats in my car, and in my Corvette, actually. As a Corvette owner, I'm sure you appreciate that as well.
Absolutely.
In fact, I got rid of the marble floors in my house. I put TuxMats everywhere.
I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, you don't even need to heat them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, my family thinks I'm more respectable since I put TuxMats in my house. My kids will talk to me, and my wife doesn't spend so much time with her boyfriend anymore since I got TuxMats in my Z and everything I own.
So by the way, go to TuxMat.com/TheStraightPipes to look what they have for your car. Thank you for that plug, Jack.
Of course. Let's talk about interior.
Okay, so first of all, the steering wheel. I really liked this little Alcantara bit. Would I have liked the entire wheel to be Alcantara? No, because Alcantara gets disgusting, so having it just on these little touch points is actually fantastic.
I mean, the thing I most appreciate about Alcantara, Jacob, is after about 30,000 miles, it feels like someone crushed Oreos into somebody's hairy back, and that's the best part about it. The other change is the seats.
Yes.
These are real Recaro seats. They are a massive improvement over the seats found in the regular Z.
Now, I know you're not used to this, but we're gonna switch drivers right now, so you can get your Gorilla hands on this and your Gorilla body in here, because we got some meat in here now.
Oh man, all right, let's do it. Jacob, I don't believe in launch control.
Burnout control, Jack.
That was weak, like Mark's hairline. Oh man.
My T levels are through the roof, Jack.
I mean, if you're not careful, you're gonna get an enlarged prostate for all the, oh man, this gearbox.
Yeah. So, did you leave it in auto there, or are you manually?
I'm in manual mode,
yeah.
And your point earlier, it's not as sharp as the ZF8 speed, but when you're in the parameters that it likes, it does shift pretty briskly.
And I've noticed it's mostly like a half or 75% throttle. Anything beyond that, it's not great, because by the time you click and get your shift, you'll almost be at redline.
I guess let's talk about interior again, because we've talked about the two major changes, right? New steering wheel.
I thought the two major changes were the red start-stop button and the red D-mode button.
Well, tell me about the D-mode, sir.
Okay, so because this is a Nismo, we've got Sport Plus, not just regular Sport like the regular Z. There's nothing regular about this car, Jack.
Oh, this is a Nismo.
So Sport Plus, that's where you actually get those faster shifts and everything. So out here, we've been driving Sport Plus the entire time. We don't have any adaptive dampers, so it's not tied to that. What else is it tied to? The steering?
It's tied, from my understanding, it's primarily tied to throttle calibration, trans tuning are the two big things. I don't think it actually changes anything with steering, but I could be wrong.
And what about the exhaust?
The exhaust is flat base, so when you're in Sport and Sport Plus, it's open. I think Sport Plus, it's fully open, and then if you go full throttle, it will open the valve just naturally through back pressure.
And honestly, it kind of sounds pretty good in here. Like, if you love that VQ trumpet, you kind of get it in this.
Oh, it would sound even better if it was a CVT. Imagine, Jacob.
Oh my goodness.
If this was just at 6,800 RPM the entire time.
Or if this was Yuri's 350Z. Oh my goodness.
As ethnic Yuri, I will tell you, there is no car greater than my 350Z. And I will also tell you, this infotainment, while it is, capable of running wretched Apple CarPlay. As an Android user, I will tell you there's nothing greater. Well, the only thing greater is 90s video games. So if you are bored, I highly suggest you watch all of my live streams in my free time.
Great job, Ethnic Yuri. But yeah, this infotainment, we do have wireless Apple CarPlay. We got wired. It is honestly great. It feels old school, but it functions.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're buying this car, you're of the mindset that you want a more traditional Nissan experience. When I mean traditional Nissan experience, I'm not saying expired tags in an Altima. You want like an older feeling car. You want there to be no gimmicks in the interior space, and you have physical HVAC, you have a simple shifter, the head unit's easy to use, you have a backup camera out of like a gas station from the 90s, but you know, it's a nice place to spend time in, and you can see.
Yes, and there's enough knobs, there's enough gloss black. Like, I love, what do you think of this shifter? It's the weirdest thing ever.
I mean, it's now auto stick out of a Plymouth Prowler, but
would you have liked this to be anodized red as well?
Yes, I would have.
Yeah, especially if they did the tip of it right here.
The big disappointment is there's not enough gloss black in this car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
So you want to talk about interior again?
Yeah, so these seats are very comfortable, like very, very comfortable. I believe they're the exact same Recaros from the previous Nissan NISMO Z, but they apparently have stiffened the inside of the seats, so you don't actually feel it, but apparently it adds to the rigidity of the car because...
I'm getting stiff hearing about that.
Yeah, me too. Just saying stiff like 52 times just makes me even stiffer. But everything about this, the chassis and basically the car, they've been telling us that like the entire underside of the car has been stiffened up in every way that they could possibly spend money in.
Yeah, so you have new dampers, new bushings everywhere, you have a stiffer steering rack, you have stiffer spring rates, much stickier tires, a wider rear tire. They have taken a holistic approach to this car. They've not just thrown parts out of it, they've tried to address all of the deficiencies, both from a driving perspective, drivetrain, and suspension tuning.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly like this car a lot more than I thought I would coming here. We haven't driven it on track yet. I don't know if I'll be disappointed or not. I'll insert a quick thing right now to give you my thoughts on that.
So we just got out of the Z on track, and it could not be more different than the regular Z performance. I had full confidence in the Nismo. A little bit terrified driving the regular Z out here.
It's a really good car. I'm honestly shocked.
Yeah. It was really fun too. Like actual genuine fun out there because you could lean on the car. It did exactly what you expected it to. Nothing weird.
Way more mechanical.
Yeah. All right. Back to the road.
So I think that's it with the car, Jack. Do you really like it? Because, you're so good, dude, because I forgot. Wait. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Fail, and it has the extension, which is a total fail.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, and by the way, the cup holder is, I don't like it, but it does hold Jack's phone right now.
That's really all that matters.
Let's get to the price, Jack.
It's 65,000 freedom dollars.
Yes, in exact Canadian dollars, that is 75,998, which is a lot of money, and it's probably about in line with a Supra, possibly a little bit more, depending on how you spec it out.
All right, is there anything else we need to talk about, sir?
What would you take? Would you take this or a manual Supra? I'm going to say manual because it's available.
It's hard. I think I want to drive them back to back on track and in the real world. I like elements of this car. Again, I like that it's double wishbone. I like that you feel more when you're driving. But the manual gearbox and the drivetrain are so good in the Supra. It's less money.
Yeah.
It's hard not to lean that way.
Oh, and there's one thing, a lot of things I still forgot to talk about. The exterior looks. Okay, so I think it actually looks a lot better than the regular one because they kind of get rid of that, as you called it, domo mouth at the front.
Yes.
But now what do they do?
It looks like a scared fish.
Yes, but I still think it looks better than the regular one, especially from the rear three-quarter with the duckbill, spoiler, and all that kind of stuff. And then the red accents, which aren't as prominent on this red exterior, but they do look really good, in my opinion, on the white one. The bumpers look a little bit crazy, but it's in line with like the GTR.
Yep.
So I think it actually looks really good, and I really like these wheels, which are lightweight raised wheels as well.
Yep, which are wider in the rear.
Yeah. But that's it with the looks, with the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys appreciated Ethnic Yuri instead of Yuri. Yuri will be back in the next video, and I think Yuri would like this car a lot. I don't know for a
We're a
fact.
hive mind. The car's incredible.
Yes. But Yuri would probably also miss a manual transmission because I know how much he likes manual transmission as a Z enthusiast, which he is.
Second greatest car ever made.
And if you are shopping for one of these, go to tsp.truecar.com for discounted price offers. Thanks for watching, and watch Savage Beast's video because we're also doing a video on Jack's channel, aka Mark's channel, because Mark's not here and I'm temporarily Mark as well.